Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also do my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so tonight we've got a little bit of stuff going on. So I'm actually playing with two PCs here tonight. So as you might be able to see in the background on the bench there to the left of me, well, to my left I should say, we've actually got Fred's PC. So Fred's actually done all the hard work. He's actually assembled his computer. He's got it all ready to go. And we're just going to be setting up and installing all the software and just making sure everything's all right. We've got an RGB fan that's not lit up there, so we'll have to go and have a look at how that's all connected up and get that working for him. But the main one tonight is Michael's PC. If Michael's in the comments, maybe Michael can explain a little bit further about what he's using this PC.
This isn't mainly gaming. I was like,
This
what else is he doing?
This is primarily for work. I can't remember what Michael was doing with it exactly, but when we go through the specs here, you'll see what I'm talking about. So we have a Ryzen 5900X here for our CPU, a 12-core 24-thread CPU. Really, there's really not too many other choices at that price. This is the gold standard. So what we have here is the Gigabyte X570 UD motherboard. So we were looking at getting a motherboard that had 2 Ethernet ports for this build. So I remember that came up, and that's why we have a single PCIe gigabit Ethernet port. So we'll be adding that to the build. And so that was cheaper than the motherboard with 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, or maybe one 2.5 and one single. And in addition to that, it was also cheaper just to buy another Wi-Fi card with this board. So we were originally looking at a board with onboard Wi-Fi, but it was going to cost like basically an extra $20 compared to buying this board, this Wi-Fi adapter, and this PCIe adapter. And if we compared it to the one with 2 Ethernet ports, it would have ended up costing like nearly $200 more. Fred says she's alive. Yes, Fred, she is alive. We're just short one RGB fan on the back there is not lit up. That's the only that needs the software installed for it, and we need to reorientate the position of the screen, because there's different orientations depending on how you've put the cooler in. So we need to rotate that, because right now it's on an angle. So we'll change that and get that straightened up. But yeah, we've got the Windows install done. We've got Armory Crate installed. We've got all of the drivers there, ready to go. So your PC is kind of there, ready to go. We're gonna get this one built, and then we'll come back to that while we've got a bit of spare time with this one. So let's get started. Like I said, we've got, as I said, I'm gonna put this stuff over here so I don't go over it twice. So we've got our motherboard and CPU there, and for our memory we have 2 32 gigabyte kits of 3200 megahertz CL16 silicon power memory. So we've got a total of 64 gigabytes of RAM for this build. We have a 650 watt 80 plus bronze rated thermal take power supply here. We have a 4 terabyte WD Blue hard drive. We have a Core MP600 500 gigabyte NVMe drive. This is a Gen 4 NVMe drive. And we have a Gamax GTA B cooler here. So just an air cooler here. The reason why we've gone air cooler is it's going to be more reliable long term. A liquid cooler has it has a warranty of 3 years, and after 3 years, the pump will eventually die. So anything with moving parts will die. Which you're alright.
It's huge. It's
Okay.
choppy.
Choppy. Yeah, okay. Good fun. And then the final thing that we don't actually have for tonight, it's going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be adding an RTX 20 to this rig. So tonight we're just going to set it up with my trusty GT710 here as a display output, because I'll be getting that card tomorrow morning, and I'll do the stress test on it when we have the actual card in my hands and ready to install. Not much point me doing a stress test with the GT710 showing a slideshow on the graphics benchmark and just cooking itself with its just passively cooled heatsink. Like they on the box for that card, they actually have it's just gone into sleep mode. That's fine. They actually have on the box GT710. I think I've actually got the box. Yes. Yep, this is it. So, one of their bragging points is it's got zero. it's so quiet. I don't know how relevant the speedo or tacho showing a red line is with that particular card, but it has its purposes. It has its uses. People like to pay out on it, but it's fine for what it is. It's not trying to be anything more than what it is. Alright, so let's have a look at this motherboard here. So what do we get in the package? We get an IO shield, some SATA cables, and no M2 screws. That means Gigabyte have pre-mounted them to the motherboard. So that's good. Okay. That new motherboard smell. Have a look at this board. So we have direct touch heat sinks for our MOSFET and VRM and co-processors. We've got an 8-pin CPU power connector there, and we also have a sneaky fan header up here. So we need to remember to do something with that nice and early before I put the cooler in the way. We've got a CPU fan and a CPU optional fan header here. So we've got a total of 3 along the top there. We've got dual channel memory here, so 2 slots are channel 1, 2 slots are channel 2. We have some, what have we got here? No, we've got some blank headers here. We have a 24-pin ATX power for the main power for our motherboard. Obviously down here we've got this fan. This is where our X570 lives, so it needs an active cooling solution for it. We have 6 SATA ports over here. We've got our front panel connections down here, 2 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2s, trusted platform module, and a 12-volt RGB header down there. And then we've also got our front panel audio down here as well.
Richard says hi there.
Hey Richard, how you going? Good to have you with us. Hopefully the stream quality's okay tonight for everyone watching. So obviously we've got our front panel audio down here. Audio, these little gold looking things here. And around here on the rear I/O we have our audio as close as possible to the audio systems on this board.
It keeps like flashing like this green stuff. Like half of it goes green. On my
Yeah,
end.
that's a sync issue between the camera and the
Oh, okay.
due to the refresh rate that's been set to. Yeah. Don't worry about that. It's to look at on the camera. It's change. Anyway, we're just trying to get through the day. We're just trying to get through the day. I don't know if anyone can actually see that on their end, or we're just seeing it on our end. So anyway, around here we've got 4 USB 3.0 ports. Goes a gigabit Ethernet port here. We have a flash BIOS button, a HDMI port that won't be in use. We have 2 USB 2s here and our PS2 port there. And then around the front here we have our M2 slot here. We have our PCIe X16 slot here. Then we've got 2 X1 slots and then 2 X4 slots. They are X16 length, but they're only connected X4 of the way along. And that pretty much sums up all of the main features on this motherboard. So it's good that we can sort of separate our PCIe cards from where our graphics card will be mounted. So we can put these both down the bottom into the bottom 2 slots, and then that will keep everything nice and ordered. And then also when you have 2 Ethernet ports, you don't have to worry about which one's which when they're right next to each other. You forget which one's which. You'll know which one you're going to be using for what, located in different spots. So that's kind of a good thing the way I see it. Alright, what have we got here? Oh, Gigabyte's warranty commitment. As if they, like they have to commit to it. They're forced under regulation to provide warranty in Australia under Australian consumer law. So they don't really have to commit anything to you. Alright. Here it is, our Ryzen 5900X. Yep, that dropped in nicely. Sweet as. Alright, now we're going to get into this memory.
Tim?
Yeah.
Wants to know, does the PC tell you if the pump has died so the CPU doesn't fry?
You'll know very, very quickly when the pump dies because your computer will turn itself off automatically.
That's how it tells you.
Yeah, that's how it tells you. So what happens is CPUs and PCs...
Unless you got like an app installed on your computer and you can see how hot it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do that in BIOS, but any computer will have that information. But the thing is, if your CPU cooler stops working and you've got a pump on your all-in-one liquid cooler, you don't really have to worry too much about this, because what will happen is your CPU will overheat. And then as soon as it overheats, it will shut down. So you're pretty much safe. You've probably seen, you might have even seen video of me where we've had a case of I've had a pump, but there's been a dead power connector on a power supply, or I had a dead connector or like that, and the pump hasn't been on or Windows. And it'll basically just crash halfway through the install. And that's how I know that the pump's not connected and there's a problem. But the same thing will happen to you with your older computer that's got a liquid cooler on it. We did a replacement on an older liquid cooler just the other week as well. So, yeah.
Hey Tim, you're awesome.
Hey Drager, how you going, man? Drager is one of my old school friends.
Well? It's nice and warm up north.
Yeah, well, it would be. They'd be getting some rain, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's a bit...
Yeah, so each of these sticks here are 16 gigabyte So we're going to have a total of 64 gigabytes of RAM here. And we're going to be utilising all 4 slots here, so no big deal. Yeah.
Spaceboy on Twitch says, I'm thinking of getting a PC and my friend recommended you.
Ah, nice.
Sweet. What do you recommend, Tim?
Send me a message and tell me what you use your computer for, then.
Send us a message on Facebook or Instagram if you want that too.
I don't have like a single recommendation. I have like configurations that I generally show to people if they don't know what they're looking for. But yeah, you let me know what you want, because all my PCs are built to order, so you can use whatever components you want and I'll put it together for you. And I won't object unless I have a valid objection for whatever reason to a component choice. Alright, so there's our memory installed. So what we can do now is we can get this M2 drive installed. Where are we? Here. So this is the Corsair MP600. It's got a big tank heatsink on it. And it's packaged in here too well. I'm just going to rip the carton open. Alrighty. Here it is. Look at that. That is a chunky boy. You know how thin these things actually are?
Well, it should. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's chunkier than the one you have in your test board.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. Okay. We've got the screw in the 2280 position here.
Francis, next thing, water cooled.
So I'll move this offset from the 2280 position. Sorry, from the 22110 position to the 2280 position. There we go. That just slots in there like that. And we screw that down. And there we go, that looks quite nice on this motherboard there. Sort of looks like the same as the heat sinks on the MOSFET VRM.
Is there RGB on the RAM?
Yeah, there is, I think.
Oh, hang on, yeah, there is.
It looks like there should be.
Yeah, there is.
Alright. Now let's have a look at this cooler.
Tim, work those magic fingers.
Hey Mick, how you going? Oh, do they give us a second fan mount in here? Doesn't look like it.
Very observant, yeah? Tim says, what's this?
Yeah, oh, you got it. I got to watch. Yes.
He needs to get the links fixed because it's a bit
Yeah,
too big for
it's a
him.
bit too big at the moment.
It's got a compass and it's got
It's nothing. It's nothing too special.
world time thing.
It's not like a $500 watch or
No.
anything. It's an $80 watch. Just
No,
a
it was the $100 watch.
no, it was $80. It's cheaper.
Oh. It's on special.
Yeah.
Sale, yay!
Mhm.
But still, it's pretty good. Is it waterproof?
Yeah. It's not a smartwatch or anything like that. So what have we got here? Okay. It's daisy chainable. Okay, what do we get in the bag? Okay, we've got a backplate here that looks like it is for either AMD. Can we use? But can we use the other bolts? Let's find out. We'll either have to assemble the backplate, or we'll be able to use the actual AMD backplate and the screws will screw into it. So let's give this a go.
Tim,
Yeah.
it says you've got a pricing today, 5950X.
Oh, very nice.
And he says, watch looks cool. And from it says, hi everyone, Tim, Christine. Yes, I got it right. Yes! Gold star!
No, they're not the right bolts, man. We're not going to be able to use them, so we're going to have to change the backplate. Which is no big deal. Oh.
He says, dog of the clocks. Indeed, my friend.
Okay. Let's get this back plate prepped for AM4. Name of the AMD socket that's on this motherboard. AM5. Want to become famous? Buy followers and primes and viewers on bigfollows.com. Oh, I know where I'm
No.
Yeah, if you couldn't detect the sarcasm there. Yeah, no, sorry.
Has that ever worked?
Yeah, there are absolute stupid people out there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You can weep for humanity when you see stuff like that. So we're going to want to put down these little plastic grommet things. Always make sure that you have bolts that are insulated down here. We don't want metal being in contact with the motherboard directly.
so much because I'm the most critical person in the world, and I think my photos are shit.
Yeah,
half the
but
time.
they're not. They're not. Alright, so we're going to need to take...
Tim.
Yeah.
Mick wants to know what are you guys building tonight.
Oh yeah, so what this is Michael's PC. I'm not sure exactly what he's using.
Isn't he?
What's that?
I said he's putting his own in. Isn't he a graphics card?
No, that was Terry the other night.
Oh.
No, this one I just don't have his card. It's rocking up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was here because there was another package received
but
today.
That's for somebody else.
Yeah, that was something else, and I was like, oh. And I already told him, and I was like, oh look, still do it tonight. It's no big deal. We've got Fred's PC as well to deal with, so we've got a couple of things going on. So yeah, we'll just do this tonight. It's no big deal. We'll run the yeah.
Graphics card is here.
Yeah. Yeah, or I might even ship it off. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to ship it off tomorrow because I'm waiting on. Yeah, you'll see tomorrow. Where's my thermal paste hiding?
No, you're fine.
Went away instead of me having like a.
It's right there. Look.
Oh, okay.
Huh? Rodney wants to get their Ronald McDonald Funko Pop today. I don't even know what that is. I'm Googling it.
There was something going on with the
Oh! You know what? I kind of liked Ronald McDonald when I was a kid, but he kind of freaks me out because I really don't like clowns. It's kind of cute. No, it's...
She's not convinced. Okay.
Rodney says exclusive pop to Australia only. Looks like the thing. Yeah.
Oh God.
I refuse to watch that movie.
What?
It.
Oh.
Nah.
Oh,
not
it's not
doing it. Nah.
It's not that bad.
No, sorry, nah. Not doing it. Not doing it.
It's not. You're not going to think it's real. You're not going to think it's real. It's. Me and my friend watched it when we were like 7 years old, and it scared us then. But it wouldn't scare you now. You've seen Event Horizon and shit, man.
Yeah,
that's way scarier than
I,
that.
I really like Event Horizon. That's a good movie. Tim mixes bloody hell. Tim's looking a bit flash tonight. Yeah, he's sort of splurged and spent like $400 on like clothing.
I never clothes.
No, he doesn't.
It's just birthday shit.
Matt says, why refuse? Just do it. Rodney says, same, I won't watch it.
Oh, really? So
Not doing it.
you got an
I'm
ally.
with you, dude.
You got an ally.
Teletubbies scared me enough. Yes! That creeped me out too. Nah. Teletubbies. They're creepy. Don't like things in suits.
Have you heard of the Teletubbies?
Yes.
If you don't know what the Teletubbies are, you might want to like look that up.
Tim Nick says, good on him. Happy birthday, Doodles.
Thanks, man.
And Darren says, my friend has one of these computers and doesn't download games.
And it doesn't download games.
What do you mean? Yeah, these computers.
What's up?
I'm assuming this is one of Army's friends. He says, haha, shut up.
Another friendly beef.
Matthew says, can't be scarier than silence in the kitchen with the trapped alien kitchen wardrobe.
Yeah.
Nick says those Teletubbies were seriously fucked up. Yeah, dude.
What about the son that was a baby?
Yeah, that really did my head in when I was younger. I was like, what?
Did
is
you all like
this
that?
even? That. No.
See, I never had a clown phobia, so I didn't realise that was even really a thing until I met Christine.
Tim.
Yeah.
Alex Borden on YouTube says, my friend was your first customer.
Oh, really?
Yay! Hello, Alex.
Hey, how you going? My first customer. That takes me back. Okay, so we've got some RGB like on the actual top of this cooler. This is like a newer version than the last one that I played with. An update.
Tim Space Boy was your first customer's friend. He says he was you were very helpful for him.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love hearing these things. So yeah, thanks for calling that out. Okay, so we've got our RGB cable installed. We've got our fan hooked up to the CPU fan header there. So our board is largely prepped. We've got these PCIe devices, but they're something that we deal with at the end.
I'm gonna check that out on my phone, mate. Out of the room.
What?
Oh, hang on.
What's wrong? Okay, so we've got another one here in the good old Antec D600 Flux. Alrighty. So I mean, I like this case, but I don't like these are okay, but I usually don't use them. I don't like how they've put all these random cable ties all around all these RGB and fan cables. Seriously, this is like, and they don't know how to tie up the cables. And then they're just like, okay, I'll tie up the cables. Because none of these cable ties are actually tied onto anything. They're just tied around individual cables here. They have no function at all. So I go and spend time untying all the cables stuck behind it on the controller. What a pain. So we don't have a reset button on this case. We use this for the RGB controller. So we're actually going to stuff that cable. I'm going to put that, I'm going to stick this up here. Okay. Get a bit more stashed away up there. Very good. Okay, so now we've got all of our front panel stuff over there. We just crimp that a little bit, hopefully stays. Now we've got all of these cables.
You're gonna like that Puddles party. He's really good. I
Yeah.
really like that. Thank you, Mick. Made me a little less scared of clowns. So,
Yeah.
Darren says, my friend Brahman is a set. He rides little bikes and doom of death. Dome of death.
So instead of using all those cable ties, we've just used 2 zip ties here corner there. Happy days. Now we just have these cables here. So we don't have an addressable 5-volt header on this motherboard. That's no big deal though with this case. I'll do, where is... So put a little tie around that one, just temporarily. And then we've got this fan. This goes to our motherboard and our SATA cable gets plugged in, and that's our controller for the RGB and fans rather. Got a rear fan installed there already. So now let's get this display mounted. Yeah, so speaking of power supplies, it's been a bit of controversy. Power supplies. However, if you've watched that particular segment from Game Nexus, you might be alarmed, but there's actually, at this stage, there is zero evidence that the problems that have been shown in the Gamers Nexus video are actually occurring here in Australia. And the reason why there's a difference is because America uses 110 volt and we use 220/240 volt. So the actual power supplies are fundamentally different. They're two different products. So if you're in Australia and you see the Gamers Nexus report and you are freaking out because you've got one of these power supplies in your computer, do not freak out. There's no evidence that it affects 240 volt models. I've spoken to a couple of other PC businesses that sell a shitload of them, and yeah, they haven't had any mass returns or anything like that. So okay, so semi-toolless mounting here, we will need a couple of screws. So I think I got a bit distracted then talking about that other issue. I saw it and I'm like, what the hell's this about? I haven't seen any problems with those power supplies. And I'm asking people, and then it sort of just clicked for me. I'm like, oh, they're fundamentally different units. They got the same casing, the same model number, but they're the 110 volt ones, not the 220, 240 volt. So that'll do it. Yeah.
Mick wants to know, is that the one that they've made law eventually said that power supplies and game machines were unlawful?
Yeah, it's the controversy about, it's to do with Newegg in America and them selling faulty power supplies in, I think, pre-built PCs or custom builds that they've suggested or something, and I don't know. These people have been having these things blow up. That has not been an issue with the ones here in Australia.
Blow up?
Yes, blow up. So it's like, it's pretty scary stuff, but it's not, as far as we can tell, it's not happening here in Australia with the ones we've got here, the 240 volt version of the same one. So yeah, so don't freak out, don't think that you need to buy a new power supply now or anything, because like I said, there's just has anything to do with the models on sale here in Australia and other places that use 240 volt. United States, maybe consider maybe getting a new power supply or getting it returned to the retailer you purchased it from. Okay, so we've got a CPU power cable. I'm going to stick that through the top there. But now we're going to need our 24 pin ATX power. We're going to need PCIe power for our graphics card. Let's try to untangle these as much as possible. And then we've got SATA and Molex. So we're not really going to need too much SATA or Molex. Yeah. Sounds a bit messy, mate. Yeah, definitely. I was as soon as I saw the report, I was like, oh shit, I need to like talk to some people now, because like there's no doubt going to be a shitload of concerned customers, because this is a channel on YouTube that has a considerable following, and so tonight everyone's probably watching that video and there'll be a lot of people flipping out. So I haven't watched the full thing, so I don't know whether he specified that it is the 110 volt version that they're talking about, but we'll see. Okay, so we've got our power for our hard drive installed. We just need to connect this SATA power cable. Oh. Go. Can also stash that one way under there. There we go. So now we're just left with the fan controller cable, PCIe cable, and motherboard cable. We do have a little independent controller here, but we're not going to be using that. We're just going to hook up to this main controller, and we're going to use the RGB button on the case to change the mode and function of our lights. And that'll control all of the fans inside this case.
It's got little, like...
Yeah, they're tabs to leave in there, so
Yeah.
because the dust will fall because it's...
I wish mine had those things. It doesn't.
Yeah, I know. And it's Corsair, it should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So now we can put this board in the case. So I'll lay this down for now. And all these cables, these can just get routed behind the motherboard here. Well, I might want to put an I/O shield in. That might be better. Because remember, the I/O shield is there for my safety and the safety of others. Sorry. I'm just quoting a customer on Marketplace like about a year ago who wasn't happy about me selling a PC without an I/O shield.
That's it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I don't believe it's 2 gigabyte power supplies. There's 2 separate codes for them. No one knows which ones are faulty and which ones are okay.
Yeah. But what, like I said, we haven't seen any evidence of faulty ones getting around in Australia. So
As of yet.
yeah. Well, I mean, not really as of yet. I mean, I've been selling customers these for ages.
Yeah, you have.
So we haven't had a problem.
Makes sense. That's on pre-built systems.
Yeah.
Maybe pre-built systems are getting different PSUs than
Possibly.
you're buying.
Possibly. Could be a deal with the manufacturer. Oh yeah, well we can save some money like this and we'll give them to you for this price. Special job lot order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A job lot is like, it's like a special retail order that gets put in specifically for a business. It's like stock that gets produced at a certain price that gets negotiated in a deal. So part of that job lot would be, you know, the packaging costs and all that, and it's all potentially up for debate because it's stock that gets produced for that deal. Now, I don't know whether that was how this got brokered or what the deal was with that. It's in a totally different marketplace to where I trade, so I'm not really gonna speculate on what was going on between those businesses. There we go. Up there. And we can probably run our controller to sysfan 1 up here. There we go. Alright, so now we just got some bolts to put in for our motherboard. Yeah. Yeah, so I sent a message to all of would be hot topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Like
You'd have customers be going, no, I don't want that. That's a blah 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 problem.
no, I just mean within the group of within Australia. So I might even make a video about it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how many people watch Gamers Nexus in Australia. When I watch Gamers Nexus, I listen to it at 2 times speed. Because his voice is kind of like, I don't know. Just seems like very monotone. I don't know. But it sounds funny 2 times speed. Everyone sounds funny 2 times speed, but yeah. I think you know what I mean. And our final bit of a tight squeeze, and I drop it. Very good. So we've got our cooler, motherboard in the case, we've got our power supply all sorted, we've got our CPU power connected, we've got our CPU fan connected, we've got our fan hub connected. We're getting very close. So we've got to plug in our RGB for our cooler and cooler fan.
So?
Yeah.
It's not guys need to get to sleep. See you in the next one.
No
See
worries.
Nick.
Have a good one, man.
Jared wants to know how you going, Tim.
What's that?
Jared wants to know how you going.
Hey, Jared, how you going? Have you got yours yet? Because he's out at Tom Price.
What's that?
That's in the middle of the Pilbara, like.
Oh.
Like.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We drove past it.
Yeah. Yep, we drove past it. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got 3 fans on the front and we've only got 1 fan on the back, so I might put a couple of extra fans in that I've got lying around. What have we got here? There's a couple of these bad boys. These come with the Antec cases. They're optional install. They are reverse fans. So you put them on the way backwards, and they're actually forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount these 2 to the top here. And so unlike this one here where we see like the grey side there, and then that will be blowing that way, this one's actually blowing that way. So we're going to install them with the Antec logo visible inside the case, but that yeah. Yeah, oh man, yeah, Jared's got that awesome that white tough gaming case, the GT501 in white.
Yeah.
The one that you're
so jealous
of
that case, dude. Oh, I want it. I'm like, I'm really tossing and turning whether I get my next tattoo or I just like spend everything on my PC. PC that I want. So I really want that case, but that's going to chew up my tattoo money.
Mm-hmm. Decisions.
Yes. I think I'd rather tattoo rather. What should I do?
You're so indecisive.
No, I've been thinking this tattoo for ages, and I'm like, I really want it.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Maybe I should do some more quotes and stuff here. Seems like, yes.
Yeah.
Help me.
I haven't renewed my ads today because I've just had so many messages that I need like another day to catch up on the ones that I've already got.
Tim.
Yeah.
Matthew says, hey Tim,
Any good knock-knock jokes? No, I don't think I do.
I haven't heard a good one for a while.
No.
Jared says, might have missed it, but that's the big.
Yeah, so that is the Deep Cool Gamax GT cooler. ARGB. So the only thing I'll fault it on is the fact that it didn't come with a bracket to add a second fan to the cooler for a push-pull configuration.
Big.
But yeah, that's fine for a 5900X. This is going to cool it right down.
Tim.
Yeah.
It says, photo my peripherals now. It is last piece.
Yep.
Slay. Gotta get that right though.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
Oh, it says, yay, Jaden.
Yes. Yeah, so this'll be good. Got nice balanced airflow in this case. Nothing's going to overheat.
If you want, you can add another fan to that cooler.
Yeah. There we go. That dust filter back on there, and we have all of our case fans installed. Now we've just got two more fans to plug into our fan controller here. And that should power light. Very good. So we just got all of our front panel connections to put in place. Let's start with our front panel audio. And where are our front panels? Oh look, we can use one of these gigabyte things that didn't come with this motherboard, but I've got a spare one. Is this broken or something? I think this one's broken. The time it takes me to fix. There we go. We've got our USB 3.0. Now, there we go. Alrighty, so now we can plug in our motherboard power. Just around like that. There we go. And we'll need a SATA cable. Okay. So I'm going to plug this SATA cable into the motherboard, but I'm not going to plug it into our hard drive just yet. So we're going to be installing an RTX 2060 into this rig. So I'm going to remove slots 2 and 3. That's where our 2060 is going to live. In the meantime, let's just chuck this extreme powerhouse in its place. Now let's get our Wi-Fi card installed. Throw another away. So like I said, we're actually going to utilise the bottom 2 slots for these expansion cards. For our graphics card to not get suffocated by other devices that we plug in. So we'll pull out slots 6 and 7 there. start with this Wi-Fi card. So we get this USB 2.0 cable here. So this is for our Bluetooth. So we're going to plug that into there. And we're going to run this cable out the back. Oh, can I get the Dremel? It's got a little lip on it, and it's not going to let me feed it through the hole here. Put our Wi-Fi card in the bottom there because it's got that cable that comes through it. And we'll put our Ethernet directly above it. It comes with a low profile bracket there, but we don't need that. Alrighty, so it's just a Ethernet port on a PCIe card. There we go. And I'll put a little screw in there for my powerhouse of a testing card. So we don't have a graphics card that requires power, but I'm going to feed this cable through down the bottom here because it will eventually have a graphics card that needs power. There we go. Alright, that is ready to go. does.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to follow.
Yeah. 5. Yeah. Okay. So I'll get my Windows USB out of Fred's computer and we'll plug it in over here. That's better. I could just see that the motherboard was not completely screwed down just from the angle of the rear ports there. So we fixed that up. So, alright, here's the moment of truth. Let's see if she lives. That looks pretty alive. Okay, let's get Windows loaded up. Well, I should probably share the screen. There we go. So now that we've got Windows installing, now we can hook up our hard drive. And while that's going on, I'm going to get some other stuff installed over here. What have we got here? Rob Strix. Oh, yeah, we've done the motherboard. But she won't believe you, babe. That's the problem. It just reignites stuff with her. Okay, let's get back to this one. Okay, so I've got our Ethernet plugged up in through our PCIe card and we are connected to the internet. So that is always a good thing. So we'll go in here and we'll get some Windows updates. And that's getting everything for us. Alrighty, how's all this going over here? Looks like we've got our graphics card driver that's installed. Alright, let's get the date and time right. Oh, I think this is, no, this is going to Sydney. Let's get our 4TB hard drive set up. Okay, we're done over here. That was it. Radio and adrenaline. Should be right to disconnect that now. Now we can plug it in over here. Alright, let's put down some custom desktop icons. And what do we need here? We need App Center. We need... Oh no, I don't want that one. Oh well. I think we've lost her. So I think we'll probably do a BIOS update on this one. Hmm? You're going to be all unreliable. I'll connect via Wi-Fi. What the fuck? What? The fuck? the fuck is going wrong with that? Not found. I think there's a problem with Gigabyte's server. And they're like all like this. No? Fucking hell. Jesus. Well, we might not do that now. Might like try again tomorrow and maybe we'll get through to those servers. Okay. Alright, let's get rid of all these annoying apps that'll start up automatically. Okay. Okay, so I forgot to put IQ on this one. Put IQ on. Okay. So everything looks like it's all ready to go over here. So there's not much point doing the stress test because we don't have the actual graphics card that we're going to be using in here. So we might just have a quick look at how this is performing. Let's see what version of BIOS it's running. Seems to be relatively up to date. F30. Yeah, that was pretty recent, so that should be fine. Yeah, performing as expected. Okay. So here we are. Here's us. Top of the pack. But the real story is the multi-core. Look at that generational improvement from the 3900X to the 5900X there. Threadripper 2920X. Ryzen 5900X. Even when we compare it, like, this is 12 cores, 24 threads. Let's compare it to 32 thread CPUs. Look at this. It's nearly ballpark only 1,000 away from the 3950X, and it's beating the 2950X Threadripper. Even when we compare it to 36 cores, it still does alright. So, a very good CPU for $800. Hats off to AMD. So let's run a bit of Cinebench. So no issues there with our temps. So like I said, I'll do the full stress test on it tomorrow, but we'll just let it run for a little bit here, make sure that temperature's not spiking or anything. So yeah, no issues over here. Alrighty. Well, we might leave it there for this one tonight. But we might have a quick look at this other one. So I'm just trying to find. There we go. All right. So make sure all those cumulative updates are installed. We got one more there, and okay, that one's still going. I'm just installing the Aorus all-in-one liquid cooler and reorientating the display. But once this is done, I'm going to shut this one down, put it to the side. I'm going to bring this one over, and we're going to get that RGB fan on the back lit up, and we're going to run some stress tests on it. So while that's doing its thing, we'll have a break. very nice. Okay. Looks like we're all up to date here. Yep. Okay. Let's shut her down. While we're here, let's pull my graphics card out. You right? Alrighty, so that is ready for the 2060 when it arrives tomorrow. Down here next to the UPS. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So this should be a relatively quick fix here, because everything's all good except this back RGB fan, and I believe we can possibly do better around the back here. Okay. We've got this fan here. That's one of those Cooler Master Halo ones. Same as the ones at the front. No, it's different. Aha. Here we go. Chained into yeah, you can do it right there. So I'm just going to use an RGB splitter around the back here. And where is my electrical tape? That's what happens when you have a day off and you don't clean up your desk. Aha! Underneath the lazy Susan. Alright, so we'll just do a couple of quick ties. Okay, so that should be looking pretty good. Yep, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. Temp indicator. I'm going to fuck off this independent controller for the RGB, and we're going to plug this in directly to our motherboard. So I'm going to use this bottom 5-volt RGB header.
think I got it.
Sweet as. So let's get some stuff hooked up here. And let's see what this thing can do. So if you don't know what this is a 5800X with a 6900 XT. So the big boy. All right. Oh. Just a second, the stream is going to cut out for just a second. I've just got to change a setting here on my end. So don't go away, it's coming straight back. Now you can see the screen. Alright, so all of our RGB cables are hooked up and everything. I've got Armory Crate installed. We've got Aorus engine so we can change the settings on our block. Msi Afterburner is installed. We've got our radians. We'll do that. Alrighty. Looks like I haven't done these. We're on 2606. Let's just check the BIOS version on here. And so this is a one. No. Oh, it's an X570. That's why. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, got the BIOS there. Where did I put my SSD? No, we've got all of our ASUS software. We're just going to do a BIOS update. For a BIOS update, we'll get XMP going on, and we'll see what this puppy can do. Okay, so we're going to go to our tool, and we're going to go to our Easy Flash 3 utility. So we'll get this update going on here. Make sure everything's all up to date for this board. Well, that's going. I'm going to get a drink. Okay, alright, that's the other thing we were getting. We're getting a CPU fan error. Now I'm actually gonna have to drop this cooler out. That's a real pain in the ass. So when the customer built it, he didn't plug a fan into the CPU header, and it's going to keep coming up with this fan error. I could turn it off, but then I would rather have the fan error work correctly rather than just shortcutting it and turning it off. So I shortcutted it when I set it up, and now that we've updated the BIOS, that's why it's come back to this state. So we're going to turn that off. And so we'll just get this cooler out of the way. I'm going to slip one fan onto the CPU fan header, and that will prevent this problem, and then we'll enable our XMP profile and we'll go from there. Oh, really? Bastard. Gotcha. So now we're just screwing back these bolts. Plug it back in now. Okay. Yep. Okay. Got our 5800X here. Got our memory running at 3600 Hertz. Got our graphics card. Plug in some internet. There we go. Well, let's just restart that now. Awesome. Sweet as. Alright, so we'll enable our on-screen display. We turned off by hitting Control F12 and turned on by hitting Control F11. Yeah, why not? Oh, Fred, I just saw your comment. You've got a cord to sync the RGB on the 6900 to the motherboard. Alright, so there's two places you can plug it in. You can plug it into one of the cables that's out the back, and another 3-pin connection. It's got a little protector over it, but if you pull that protector off, there'll be 3 pins, just like the 3-pin connection on the motherboard. You can plug it in out the back, and then you won't have another cable in the case. So let's turn off all that crap. That's okay. That's just for our cooler. We don't need all these game clients automatically opening up. IQ's okay. It's RGB lighting. Yep, they're okay. All that stuff can be shut off. Sure, Fred can decide what game he wants to play. He doesn't need everything opening up automatically at once when he opens the computer up. Sweet as. Let's open up hardware monitor, we'll track these temps. Now let's run the benchmarks like we always do. Oh. Alright, click on. Alrighty, I don't think we need to see it again. So we'll run this one Ultra Max Anti-Aliasing. Catch you later, Rodney. Have a good one, mate. Alright, is that gone through again? I think it has. So obviously this one is the 4K benchmark. There we go. 16,000 pretty much, or 15,500 at 4K. Alrighty. So I'll just go through these apps quickly for Fred. So you got Ryzen Master here, which will let you overclock and tune your CPU. You got Aorus Engine here, which will let you adjust the stuff on your cooler. So over here, change the image. You can do custom image, all that. But if you want to change the themes and the colors, you need to go into this RGB Fusion app. So here we can change to all the different views that it's got. Custom image, custom text, and then obviously your color settings and everything there. So we can go Yep. We've got CPU Z, information about our CPU. You can run a benchmark and compare. We can do that. Click submit and compare there. Hardware monitor we've already got open. Temperatures, voltages, usage for all of your components. Individual memory sticks there. Everything. Crystal disk info. Tell you information about your SSD. Crystal disk mark will let you test the speed of your SSD. I think you know what Google Chrome is. We just ran Heaven, we just ran Superposition, we just ran Valley Benchmark. VLC is the Swiss Army knife of media players. It'll play any file. If VLC doesn't play it, it's probably a virus. Msi Afterburner. That's this app here. It'll let you control all your graphics card settings like fans, overclocking, and it lets you control the Reaver Tuner settings. So that overlay, control F11 to turn it on and control F12 to turn it off. And the only one we haven't looked at here is IQ. And for some reason it's detecting. There we go. So this will allow you to adjust all of your RGB lighting for the things plugged into the motherboard and the RAM. So you can go in here and change all of your settings. You can also control the lights there with where are we? Armory Crate via Aura Sync. can also keep your drivers up to date with what was it saying? Download and install. Oh, check the. One last app there. So there's our speeds for our SSD. And we can go to submit and compare over here for the CPU-Z benchmark, and we can see so our 5800X is sitting. Top of the wash. And multi-thread. Once again, best example of an 8-core 16-thread CPU. Intel just managed to push their i9 11900K about as hard in multi-thread, which is pretty impressive for them. Alright, so we are at the end of the night where I do the final stress test. So, Cinebench and Furmark. So we're really only concerned with our CPU temperatures and stuff here. We've also got hardware monitor tracking everything as well. Going to create a custom benchmark. And we're going to click start. Alrighty, so if anyone's got any final questions, now is the time to ask, because it's getting pretty late and I'm ready to sign off for the night. Fred. So yeah, man, BIOS is, Windows is installed. I'll chuck your activation key there. Yeah, everything's running sweet. Good job with the build. I like your custom GPU support bracket that you've got in there. It's a nice touch. But yeah, happy days. Alrighty. Well, I think I might leave it here for the night. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all tomorrow in the next video.